Hey, what's up YouTube? Had a pretty solid weekend of sales, 17 items for a little over 1,300 bucks. Thought I'd take a few minutes and share some highlights with you. I haven't seen you in a couple weeks. I've been on vacation up in New England, one of my favorite parts of the US of A, up in Maine, actually at Acadia National Park. If you haven't been, highly recommend. And I highlight all of New England. Actually is something that I think everyone should go see at one point in their life. Beautiful, especially this time of year. Also love Arizona, Utah, New Mexico. Love those places as well. It's kind of like a rivalry that I have. I don't know which one I like better. But let's highlight a few of the fantastic sales while I was away. This vacation that I was on, almost 2 weeks long, and it's the first like completely non-working vacation that I've had. Usually I'm going to thrift stores. Sometimes I'm even listing and selling from the road. I did go to one thrift store, to be fair, but one out of like gone for 11 days or so. That's pretty good. I'd call that a non-working vacation. But I think that's why I also had, although this weekend was a solid weekend in sales, it's about half of the business that I would say on average that I do for a weekend. And I think that's just slow down of the eBay algorithm, not listing, taking some time off, so getting back up to speed. And that's why we had a little bit of a slow weekend. But let's hop in and see what some of those sales are like. Then we got El Papo right here, Shanks one piece. I know one piece is super popular. Now, unfortunately, this had a tiny little dent. And if you were to sell these pops as brand new, because otherwise this is in perfect condition except for that teeny weeny little dent. But unfortunately, you sell this without saying that there's a dent. It's either going to be a return, negative feedback, both, something like that, because collectors want these boxes in pristine condition. I don't blame them. It's just something that I know people are really picky about the boxes. So these were going for like 25 bucks or so. I think I put mine up for like 20. I mentioned the small dent, but somebody paid 20 bucks plus shipping for this. And these pops, I don't know if they're like gonna end up like Beanie Babies someday in the future or not, but I mean, I don't know, there must be tens and tens of thousands, of hundreds of thousands of these at this point in time. So I don't know, will the hype ever die? What do you guys think? They got a fancy Kate Spade little wallet in here. I think I put all the wallets in here. And again, this is something that's been sitting for longer than Papa would like it to, so I gave a good deal. 30 bucks on this. It's got some scruff on the back there. 30 bucks. There are tags in there. I don't know if I can do this one-handed, but it's new with the tags somewhere in there. 30 bucks plus shipping on this. And I get a kick out of the colors of these things. This is lime sherbet. So I always wonder, like, when these companies are coming up with the colors, how they came up. Oh, there we go. So you can see the original tag. I think that's Canadian dollars. US, I don't know what it says. 159, something like that. You can see pebbled leather, lime sherbet. Such fancy folks. That doesn't look like it's lime sherbet. And if I lick this, I doubt it tastes like that. This Pit Boss, is this even in focus? Is this even in focus, bro? This Pit Boss grill, it's massively heavy, so I didn't bring it inside. I have this shed out back. We've seen it in other videos. It's where I keep the flea market stuff, but I also put things that are very heavy back there that I don't want to carry on the second floor office of my house, so I just kept it out there. Anyway, 185 bucks. You can see here, those are overall sales numbers, profiting 185. Obviously that doesn't account for what I paid for the item. You can see shipping is 33 bucks. It's high shipping, but that's because this thing weighs as much as a dead body. But I'm not going to bring that in. You won't see this other than this video of a picture on my computer screen. So take that all in. And I know what you might be thinking, Pit Boss, Thrift Boss, that there might be some sort of crossover, but I assure you we are not related. However, with our powers combined, we are Captain Pit Thrift. And next up we have a Roku somewhere hidden. I'm looking at these empty buckets here. This is I didn't know they actually made these things, these Rokus. They obviously do the streaming service. That's what we kind of all know them for, but I guess they've been so wildly successful. Like any good company, they are transitioning, expanding their product line. So now they're getting into the ring chime business, doorbell business. So this is the first one I've ever seen. And myself, and it sold pretty quickly. I think it sold in 2 or 3 days, and it sold for 59 bucks plus shipping. Then we got a fixture, or I mean an action figure. We got this Resident Evil 2. This is pretty cool because it's this stuff is always pretty cool to find out in the wilds. 1998, and it's still sealed. You know, obviously it's got some boxware as would be expected over the years, but it's really cool. It has an original price tag on there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's $8.55. But I always felt like finding this thing. I mean, this is almost 30 years old at this point, and it's pretty cool that nobody has opened it in almost 30 years. And here it is on this Dum Dum's inventory rack, and now it is finally going to somebody who appreciates it a lot more than me. I like the money that it has given me. It sold, good deal. I took a best offer, 40 bucks for this. I think originally I was asking like 75, something like that, but it's been sitting again. It's been sitting for like 3 or 4 months, so it's time to go. 40 bucks. I only have, say, $5 or $6 into this item, so glad to see it go. And just made a video about these recently, the seasonal items that I like to capitalize on the seasons. These sold for whatever you see on the screen here, and they sold pretty quickly. I just listed them when I got back from vacay late last week, and somebody already purchased them, which is, you know, this honestly why I wait till the season, because I had these back in spring. If you saw that video, I bought these back in spring at actually a Goodwill clearance sale, so they were $5, but they were all 75% off. So, you know, I'm only paying like $1.50 or so for these suckers, and not a huge sale, but I think altogether they sold for 30 plus shipping. So I'm making decent money on this, all because I think capitalizing on the season and waiting for Halloween to come around. Then we've got the last of 3 of these fancy sheets. I don't know, maybe I'm a cheap dude, but this sold for $110, and that was the cheapest of the 3. I had these listed for $150. The other 2 I think sold for one was $120, one was $130. This was the last one. Took a best offer, $110. I don't get it. I don't know if the sheets that I sleep on, if I'll ever pay $110. I'm happy paying like $10 for the sheets, but you know, maybe it's one of those things until you try it, until you sleep on sheets that cost as much as your mortgage. Maybe that is life-changing. So anyway, made some good cash on this, $110 plus shipping on these Cariloha. I think they're like bamboo. But I'm listing today, these are all the jackets, you know, that I highlight in videos. These are stuff that I pick up for cheap throughout the year. Garage sales, estate sales, but especially like thrift stores when they do clearance on seasonal jackets and stuff. You can see some really good stuff like this Marmot brand, and I got it for $6 was the tag price, plus I got like a 50% discount on that. I don't know what all these, this is North Face, not as good as it used to be. North Face, this AMG you actually saw in a video not too long ago. This was an estate sale, only $3, and it sells for like $60, $80, $100 even used, something like that, if I remember correctly. This is Land's End retro vintage jacket, so not big money, but again, when I'm only paying like $1 or $2 for these vintage jackets, it's totally worth it. Carhartt, we got some Carhartt. This is a huge, heavy jacket, even worn. And sometimes I think with brands like Carhartt, people don't mind this at all, and sometimes I think it might even add a little value because people like the look of like the rugged workwear type of thing. It's even got the hood with it. I think this is like a diesel. Yep, this is a diesel jacket, a little puffer jacket. What's this? I think this might be Patagonia. No, this is Columbia, just a Columbia fleece, and brand new. Again, when you're getting it for a couple bucks, always worth it. A bunch of vintage jackets that I'm not. Oh, these came from video. These vintage like snowboarding, skateboarding jackets. Roth, I think is what it says. My camera work is pretty shoddy today. This was at that same video, in that same video with these winter jackets, and I think this is a really solid brand. So this is a new brand to me, but it's like a wool peacoat. Peacoat's a funny word. A couple of these are vintage wear guard, and these were at the same store. You can see that they were priced at $4, and then they were marked down even from $4. I think they were 50 or 75% off. So I only paid like $1 or $2, and there's 2 of these suckers. I don't recall what they sell for, but it was shocking for when I looked at it. Volcom jacket. I think this one's brand new, really nice. Anyway, you get the idea. A lot of great jackets in here that I paid sub $5 for most of these things. And I just wait until the cold weather comes around, and then people warm up my pockets with their money. And we have a couple of smaller sales that are important, that don't want to be left out, and this is one of them. I see you small sales, you do matter, you are important to me. This is a Padcaster, Parrot brand Padcaster, sold for like 19 bucks or so. We have a Pampered Chef. Everybody knows Pampered Chef. This stuff shows up everywhere you go. You pretty much, it's kind of like Starbucks. Pampered Chef's on every corner. This food chopper sold right around that $20 price point as well. And then we have some buried behind this massive hoarding of boxes. We have some shoes. This is the mythical land of shoes. And I've had these sandals, here they are, the Minnetonka, is I think how you say that. These moccasins. I think I got these for $3 at a out in the wilds of a lawn sale. Not the best sale. I think maybe I only made $1 or $2 again. I took a best offer of 10 bucks, which is a little low, but I've had these for so long. 10 bucks plus shipping, and like I said, I think I paid $3 after fees and shipping and everything. I think maybe I'm gonna double my money, $3, maybe $4. Then we're going back to Roku's roots. We find sometimes I have a tough time despite having such a small store. You'd think I'd organize my stuff better, and I used to. Right in the pants. Every time we do a video, we always find stuff right in the pants bucket. But this Roku, this is what we know and love about Roku, these streaming sticks. This one's kind of beat up, so obviously it's a little bit of a discounted price. Even though all this stuff is brand new inside, people write all the time with offers on these things. So I don't know what I had this for originally. I ended up selling it for 20 bucks plus shipping, but I think I put it up for maybe like 25 bucks, and you get a bunch of offers saying, you know, here's, they're offering 10 bucks because the box is damaged, as if that has anything to do with the product inside. So you get a bunch of cheapos taking advantage that the box isn't perfect, even though they're just gonna open it, take this stick outside, and throw the box straight in the trash. It matters nothing to them except for asking for a discount. Anyway, sold for 20 bucks plus shipping, and that's 2 Rokus. So thanks for the Rokus providing iced coffee for the next week. We got some Halloween outfits, same thing. These things made it into a video recently, same thing as the Lamax. And these things are selling pretty quickly. We got this Beetlejuice. They're not selling for a lot, but again, got these at a Goodwill clearance sale. So I think all these were marked $4 or $5, again, 75% off. So not much in these things. And we got Lydia Beetlejuice. It's a mini Lydia, and it didn't sell for a ton, but 16 bucks plus shipping for little toddler Lydia. Now we go into the buckets of Rick Grimes for President. I'm a big Walking Dead fan. At one point, it was my favorite television show. Walking Dead fans, let me know if you're still out there. And we have a couple of Revenge sweatshirts. I don't know if it's like a band. I think it's a band, Revenge. And they're kind of cool. They're pretty high quality. I've had these for so long, and the first one sold for like 70 bucks. These were on the way out. I've had these for maybe 8 months or so, which is a little longer than I typically keep things, but I don't have much into them. So when the margins are decent, I'll still keep things a little past their expiration date on my shelf. But the same buyer bought both of these. I gave him a good deal. He got them for like 27 bucks each. Both have $10 shipping on there. So he got a great deal. And the only reason I really did that, again, is because these just had to go. And we got the big sale of the weekend. We got this DJI Mini 3 drone. And not sure what I have into this, but this came from one of the Lost Cargo Unclaimed Pallets videos that you guys have seen. This was where it came from. I'm unsure of how much I paid for this actual item because it's based on averages. I could track those things better, but it's really not worth my time. Basically, if I pay, say, $500 for one of those pallets, and 100 items come out that I'm going to put on eBay, that averages out to the $5 price point on these things. So if I only found 50 things in a particular pallet and I paid $500 for it, that would be $10 per item. So that's how it works. And I don't keep track of how many items come from any particular pallet. Somewhere between, say, 50 to 100 eBay items that generally come from a pallet. So it's usually the items that come from pallets are between $5 and $10. So that's about what I have into this. And I sold this for full asking price, $410 basically, plus shipping.
And that's it for today. I appreciate you. We actually all, me and the inventory, we all appreciate you guys hanging out with me today, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys out in the wilds. Peace.